Well. How we all doing? Not the best first half display I have ever seen. Welcome aboard the Bhoycie Bus all the same. Hopefully we could be in for the most epic 40 minutes in the history of Bhoycie Bus. Bhoycie Bus's short tenure of doing a podcast. I highly doubt it though. I'm not very confident at all, to be honest with you. I think, I don't know. There just seems too much wrong. Too much wrong with the Celtic display in the first half. I'll just make sure I was actually getting any audio. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let me know if you can. What can we say about the first half? I only seen the last sort of 20 minutes. I was working. It's fucking shite though, what I've seen in the I'll be honest. I mean, I want to give you some sort of better insight, but I mean, the last 20 minutes I seen it's pretty poor, man. Pretty poor. Started the first half brighter. Johnson comes in. McGregor and Abad have dramatically improved Celtic's play from the first half. Already there's more impetus, and I agree with that. There's chances there. Maeda winning a corner. I mean, there could be an historic 40 minutes, but I think we are clinging on in hope rather than expectation. Hope everyone's doing good. Where else are you going to come though to vent your problems, moan about results, or just have a wee positive spin on what has been a disappointing showing so far in Europe than the Bhoycie Bus? It's the place to be. Fanboyfootball.com is always sponsoring us as well. Ryan Kelly says, yes, a bit of company, mate. I have run about like a madman to get here. But it's good to be here now, you know. It's good to be on. Hopefully bring some positive vibes to Celtic, and by God, they need them, eh? We absolutely need them. Kaylee's in, happening, my boy. Hello, darling. I hope you're good. Sean Ross just got back home for a bit of heat. Glasgow CSC, Bhoycie, your mic sounds like you're underwater. Shit. I don't know why it does this. 2 seconds. I might be in slow motion now. Can you hear me any better? I don't know if I've got the volume too low. 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Jack Johnson, Russell, how could you leave us to the wee wig board? He's on his own tonight, and I had to turn off when he was raving about 10 in a row. That wee dude does not have the patter or the charm to ad-lib. He has got fucking the personality of a goldfish, a self-indulgent goldfish. But hey ho, so I've got to earn my money. Other people get paid to do this. I don't, unfortunately. So sorry I'm late, Jack Johnson, but I'm back. And apologies about the volume. The mic and the camera was all playing up, and to be honest with you, I was rushing about like a madman trying to get all set up. So I do apologise. Ryan Kelly was lonely. Mate, I'm here to join you. Don't worry. As Celtic are going to do the extraordinary in the next 36 minutes. Nah, me neither. But we can all dream. We can all hope. Thanks for the heads up, Glasgow CSC. I do apologise for that.
everyone's saying it's much better now. An underwater mic could have helped the Celts, to be honest. Definitely. Oh, chances! Oh. Bhoycie, what did you say about you know who cracking up about the photo shots you did? Oh, fuck knows. Fucking, who cares? I think someone had said this aged well under a photo of me. But I think they were just saying it in like he's not on the show anymore. I don't even know who the guy was. And he sends him a big like debrief on how his podcast viewing numbers are actually up. I think the guy was like, take a fucking chill pill, mate. Do you know what I mean? And your hair's fine, leave it. Well, it's funny you say that because it was a wee bit dreich having been out in the sort of drizzly snow and that, Kelly. So I'm a bit paranoid, you know. I never leave my hair. I'm obsessed with my hair. My pals will tell you that. Hugh, Anthony Riley, what's up, people? Hugh, did you do the first half or did you not? What happened? I checked your channel before I came on to see if you'd done it. I was going to give you a big build up, and I don't think you did it. I couldn't see it anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or did you do it on another platform than YouTube? Let me know in the comments. I was looking forward to seeing bits after the shows tonight. You know what I mean? His head is fried, mate. His head's fried. I mean, so is mine, but at least mine's not fried on my own ego. Just fried on being a Raj. Hey, lasted 15 minutes, then gave up. What do you mean you gave up? You can't give up after 15 minutes, you. What happened? Drop me a message, mate. Kaylee needs to boost the now. She needs to jump in the bath and getting ready for the weekend now. I like your style. Hugh patched Bhoycie. No, he didn't patch me. Hugh's got his own channel. So I think he was going to do his first stream tonight doing the first half. He thought it was fair because I wasn't here, so he wasn't stepping on my toes. And then he was still letting me do the second half on my channel. But it looks like he gave up anyway. That's a shame. Jack Johnson, he's not happy tonight. Nobody sent him a photo of Russell and Jonathan in his quiff. Jonathan's hair would blow his wig off. He's not happy. Nobody cares if he's happy, not happy. He's just, his trips are deserting him. That's what I think's funny if they're not even going on. European night. He's got about 15 unpaid volunteers, doesn't surprise me. Keep your star men happy. That's what I would have done. I would mean me there, obviously. Glasgow Rebel, me personally, I don't mind going out. The league is the priority. The lineup showed that it was set out for damage limitation, which, to be honest, though, I don't think achieved anything either. Setting up for damage limitation. I don't know what we've got out of it, other than more seeds of doubt in the minds of the squad than they maybe had prior. Again, for me, I just feel like this competition isn't the European competition we want to be in. But to be completely honest to you, I mean, I still think winning against a tournament, if we were to aim at winning the tournament or whatever, or even navigating a tie against Bodo Glimt, is more of an achievement than, for example, beating Dundee United in the Scottish Cup fixture that's coming up. How many Scottish Cups do you need? How many times do you need to beat Dundee United? It was still a chance to get deep into a tournament that's in its first year of existence, against teams we very rarely play, that are of higher prestige than the ones that we, pump on a regular basis domestically. I don't know. I know people have apathy towards this tournament, but I just think that argument's crept in so often now. As long as we focus on the league. Yeah, we've got to focus on the league, but Celtic spend enough money to be able to focus on both. Put it this way, we're playing a Bodo Glimt side that's won the last 2 titles. They're doing not bad in Europe this year as well. Zain of Odin. I mean, awful first half, absolutely. And I love it when Bhoycie AFC comes in. He loves watching us when we get beat. Most unsuccessful club in Europe, 3 European tournaments, humped out in 1 season. It's true, I suppose. There's Hugh giving a plug for his channel. What you see is what you get. even if it's only for 15 minutes. Good luck with it all, Hugh, mate. You know I'll be backing you up, pal. Jack Johnson, Glasgow CSC, that's worrying if he's looking to get out of a tournament if it's too challenging. I mean, I don't think it shouldn't be. Shouldn't be too challenging to, this tournament in the sense of we should be competing better than what we have. If we now out to Bodo Glimt, I mean, I know there's still half an hour left, 33, 34 minutes, including injury time. But what you're looking for is over the two legs, if we are to go out to have competed, and I think, unless we see a huge turnaround the next half hour, then I don't really think we have competed much over both legs. Only Rangers have got Scottish football back now. Bhoycie FC, that is a bit of a hypocritical statement. You obviously know how coefficients work. So they work on the back of the last, is it 5 years? You do the math. Who's been in the big boys tournament in the last 5 years and who's not? I rest my case. Now, don't annoy me with your pish. I mean, yeah, I think Rangers have done well in Europe. But if you know how the point structure works, then it goes back X amount of years. And how the Scottish coefficient has had points in, well, it wasn't when you were, picking up balls at a hedge against Brecon, was it? Didn't really make many points then. So I think it's a silly argument, that, to be honest with you. You're wanting as many Scottish teams striving to do as well as they can to lift the coefficient. But of course, you take all the glory. Absolutely. I totally get that. And you've still not even been in the Premier Tournament, because I'm pretty sure it is you who won the league last year. Correct me again if I am wrong. Ryan Kelly, if we don't want to try and hope to go further in any competition, then what's the point in Europe? I'd be aiming to improve each season in any of the Uefa competitions if possible. Couldn't agree more. I was surprised at the lineup from Ange tonight. I really was. I mean, the midfield really glared at me because he used them in the leg, the first leg, which we naturally think we were trying to win. We were pretty much as full strength as we could be for the first leg, and it didn't work. So why he's trying them again in the second leg when everyone else has sort of been rotated from that? Not everyone else, but a lot of positions had. It's surprising, that weather there. I'm actually cold watching the game, by the way. Oof. Glad I am not in Norway right now, I've got to be honest. I don't know what Joe Hart's wearing tonight. He looked like he was wearing like a manager's tracksuit for the 90s underneath his goalie strip. Quite right. Agree, Jack Jones. Looks like he's just had enough of Europe. Seems like he's accepted this squad that was not cut out for Europe, which is quite a scary thing if you think that. I think there's been more than enough money spent on this Celtic squad. 10 times more you would have to estimate than the Bodo Glimt one as well. So how this squad can make an impact in Europe would be a real concern for me. In comes David Mackay. How you doing, mate? You all right? Abada is so much better than Forrest. And I think that, that just gets a green tick, what you said there, Hugh. So there we go. So Bob McBob comes in. This is brilliant. So over the last 5 seasons, Rangers have contributed 39.25 points, while Celtic have contributed 33. Now I will take you back, because I can play this game. Celtic have done nothing for it all those years. Only Rangers have got Scottish football back. Now back to Bob McBob. Over the last 5 seasons, Rangers have contributed 39.25, while Celtic have contributed 33. Now, I'm trying to work this out in my tiny wee brain. If there's nothing there, or there's only 6 points between both contributions. Oh, behave. Behave. This is great fun. And thank you for reminding me of the Progress debacle in 2017-2018, Bob, as well. Bhoycie and Ange, he'll have his eye on a few of these Glimt players. Well, I think we can all agree Solbakken looks a tremendous player. Get dim these lights, man. Not trying to get like a mood created, but it's too a bit bright tonight, man. I've got a wee red spot in my chin. Ah, Maeda, you're finishing at times, you big donkey. That's a joke, by the way. I don't think Maeda's a donkey. Ooh, that's quite warm, isn't it? That's better. That's better. Oh, he's got to score that. He's got it on the half volley in his left foot. He has got to score. Pellegrino as well, says Ryan Kelly. Yeah, he's looked good. To not hit the target is poor, as John Hartson's saying right now there. It's a brilliant opportunity for Maeda. I think at times his finishing has been... It's left a lot to be desired. I know, though, you could argue back with that his goal record has been very good. So it's a hard one to work out. If you give any sort of criticism, then you're jumping on the bandwagon. Luckily for me, I don't care. I think you need to criticise when it's due, not for headlines. And that was a terrible effort. I finished, sadly, from... Danny O'Malley, I'm away to play COD. I'll still be listening, though. Yes. I get it, mate. I get it. The Red Baron Seed also love to see Aberdeen, Hearts, or Hibs to just make the group stage of a European competition. Well, hopefully with the Conference League, there will be much, much more. Glasgow CSC, I'm not bringing up your comments. Martin O'Neill, I think Rangers have done well. Sean Ross just seen Natasha and her sister. Yeah, I thought it was them. Ryan Kelly just seen the chance on my stream, golden opportunity, which it sure was. You would like to think Maeda would be able to take those chances. Just a bit of composure for Maeda there, because we've had few and far opportunities, particularly in the second leg. I think obviously Abada trying to do one of his wee left foot colours, but gathered by the goalkeeper again. Straight at him, down his throat, really, though, to be fair. Johnny V, don't tell me you're right. Oh, God, I've got a bad feeling here. And my stream must be slightly behind. Oh, it's so easy. Again, a lovely work goal. Lovely work goal from Bodo Glimt. They've made Celtic look very ordinary. Very ordinary. I mean, I would have to say, I think, for a side that spend the money Bodo Glimt do, for the fact they lost a lot of their star players, I think it's a disappointing, a bitterly disappointing, you could say, in the words of Neil Lennon, performance over the two legs, even with, by the way, the changes that have been made. I think it should be much better. I just think I don't think that's very becoming of a Celtic team, what we've seen so far. Sean Ross nails it. That's it. Time to come home. Very disappointing. Interested to know where everyone is minute-wise. I've just turned 70. 70 minutes. 70 minutes gone, 4 goals required. It's on the cards, right? I mean, how do you even do a post-match pish after this? I mean, it literally is going to be pish that we discuss. And Dave Mackay, very proud defender, but it's quality football from Bodo. Bit of both as usual. Johnson, look, mate, I'm as happy as you are. You got a new job, Johnson, and congratulations again. But I am not covering the Rangers game, right? This is embarrassing, says the Glasgow CSC. Hugh, it's 2 months they've not played competitive, not 10. Jeez, oh, if it's not been 10, I'll be really worried. No, it's 2. I'm sure it is. Not turned up tonight, says Sean Rawson. Not turned up over the two legs. The wee man says Neil Lennon has destroyed Celtic. I mean, I was a bit disappointed in our European exertions in the final season under Rodgers as well. I wish the live chat banned goal spoilers. I know. If there was a way, I would. Trust me. They just have real composure as well. Even that finish there. No panic. Beautiful side foot. Wrong side. Joe Hart going the other way. They've got a real composure and they almost play with a wisdom to their game that sort of defies the league that they're from. And that probably, as I say, the opposition they're playing at this sort of stage in any European competition, remember, is always going to be one of far greater riches than them. And yet this Bodo Glimt plays so assuredly, proper confident side, and clearly believe in whatever it is they do in the training ground. As like I say, everything seems very methodical as well. Hugh, it's been 14 years since we won away. What do you mean? Hugh, we won we've won away definitely since then. The one that stands out, Anderlecht 3-0 in the Champions League. Where are you getting these stats from tonight, Hugh? You're confusing me. Bodo Glimt in the ball, knocking it about, as I say, just with total confidence. Yeah, Lazio 2-1. There's another one, Martinelli. He's not a muppet. He's just got it wrong, that's all. But Lazio, that wasn't even coming to my head either. I don't know where the 14 years comes from. Anyway, we'll bring that comment down. Bhoycie, to be fair, could you imagine wee Wigman's jail tantrum if we popped over and told him you were doing the Rangers game live cam? It would be hilarious. I don't think he would care, to be honest. Well, maybe he would. Who knows? Just throwing some cheeky shit your way. I'm pissed off, mate, trying to be funny. Fair enough. Spartak Moscow 3-2 away, yep. What I do know is it's 18 years since we've won a knockout tie in Europe. That's pretty poor, you would have to say. Edward McCallum, this is getting a bit of a habit. Big European teams like Bodo giving us a scalping. I know, mate. It's frustrating. I think what we'll do is just block Willie. I'm not really interested in comments about people dying all over the world, William, with all due respect. Adios. Europe is for next season. Nice top, by the way. Thank you, Michael. Always a shining light, isn't there? Oh, fuck knows how old this top is, man. I had it for years. Celtic trying to get into the Bodo box. Simple pass from McGregor under the skills. Here's the wee debate. Should Celtic have trained on the Bodo Glimt pitch? And was that the first sign that we weren't taking this tie as seriously as maybe some of us had hoped? Well, you know Ange's thrown the towel in because James McCarthy's coming on. Fucking hell. Never brings him on. Ange will use European performance to get better players in the next transfer window. Fingers crossed. Although, you know, he brought in Atati. Didn't start him, you know, in either leg. The tie was over last week, says Adam Zappo, hence the starting team I put up last night. Only two different from tonight. Very true, very true. You were spot on, Adam. I disagree with it personally. Everyone's got their own opinion, which is fine. You know, if Celtic start but full strength, if Celtic go out the Scottish Cup, there'll be a riot, right? The channel will be absolutely mobbed with people going nuts if we lose to Dundee United in the Scottish Cup. Nobody cares if we go to Europe. I just can't get my head around that psyche at all. I just can't. Now, I appreciate the Dundee United game, as I found out last night, is, you know, in isolation. There's 6 days prior to it, I think 7 after it. So fair enough, you can start a strong team in that. But trust me, if we go out, there will not be any apathy to, oh, well, who cares, focus on the league. And that annoys me. But everyone's different. Some people care more about the domestic stuff. But not for me, I'm afraid. Wouldn't have made a blind bit of difference, boys said. Disagree. I think the pitch and artificial surface, the amount of stray passes that I've seen in the last 20 minutes of the first half suggested to me that they hadn't got to grips with the pitch. And I think because Sutton was talking about it at half time as well. Again, I think Bodo have been the better team. It's not an excuse, but I definitely think it was. And as I say, the point I was making was it the first sign that Celtic weren't taking this tie seriously? So in context of that, I think it probably was. Sunday's the main game this week. I get that, but I mean, if we start looking at Celtic as a team that can only focus on one game a week, then it really should cut the squad drastically down. You know, just have the youth team on the bench a lot, just have 11 to 14 key first team players, and that's it. And the rest should just be youth getting an opportunity if we can only focus on one game. We really, really don't need to have the size of squad that we keep saying we do. In fact, the size of squad we had when Ange first took over could have focused on just one game a week. I think we need to try and broaden our horizons a wee bit. Adam's convinced that it's the right decision by Ange. I don't like it. And I don't, again, think if there's any particular reason we go out to Dundee United, Ange will get off lightly with it. No one's bringing that point up in the comments. Everyone deep down knows if we go out a domestic cup, we're more raging than a European one. And I find that really strange, in my opinion. Very strange. The Red Baron, there is a mentality problem with Celtic in Europe. It's been going on for a good few years now. I find that, I know Red Baron will enjoy saying that, but I find it hard to argue with. Teresa Lyle Photography and Design Solutions thought the boys could have done a bit better, at least a win or a draw. Maybe not go through, but go out with the heads up, heads held high sort of thing. I get that. Totally get that. Thomas McBrearty wants to know about where I live. Thomas, I'm not a Fifer, I'm afraid. I am born in Stirling. I might live in Fife now, though. Who cares? Russell, that's sad. I don't know what's sad, but I don't know. He won't rest the main men against Dundee United. I get that. I totally get He won't rest the main men against Dundee United. But would there be such apathy to going out the Scottish Cup under any circumstance than what there has been to going out of Europe for a third time? That's my point here. I don't think there would be. But everyone's different, and that's all good. But you're picking and choosing what game you want to win, Adam. This is my thing. Why do you not think? Wait, do you think we have to be like that? I don't. Cheers, Thomas, my man. Jack Jaws. Oh, it's sad that folk care more about domestic cups in Europe. I think it's the case, though. I think it goes across the board. I think it's, even the reaction to last week when we started level. I mean, tonight, fair enough, we started with a mountain to climb. Last week we started at home. All things equal against Bodo Glimt. And there was apathy to getting beaten that, and it was just a league that matters. And yet if we went out the Scottish Cup, there'd be a riot. You liar, you told me Celtic would win. What do you want me to say? Oh, I think Bodo Glimt will hammer us. I thought we might have won, but still went out. And then I got excited and thought maybe magic could be in the air. You never know with this unexpected roller coaster season. But I did also say if it goes the same way as the first leg, I wouldn't be remotely surprised. So I kind of covered myself with all angles, to be honest. Sat on the fence. Martin O'Neill, I don't think that's true. We went out to Clyde under Strachan. Definitely not the same year. Come May, if we win the league, all of this will be forgotten, which of course it will be. Of course it will be. But I don't know. My mentalities might be different. I want us to win every game, and I'm maybe not as like diplomatic when we get beat, especially in the manner we have. Now, yeah, you can be more frustrated at the first leg's performance that we had more key players playing. We were at home and it was so flat than tonight's. But I mean, tonight's been almost like, well, the first 20 minutes of the first half I seen, which was from about 22 minutes till half time, it was like a training exercise at times for Bodo Glimt. Second half, we've offered a wee bit more, but that's about it. Mojo Rising says this is poor and nothing else. I get it. Is Joe Hart wearing a quadruple XL jersey? I genuinely think he's got like a big puffer tracksuit on underneath his goalie top, John Johnson. I really do. Mikey Cole comes in, Beaton has been right rotten. Just doesn't do it for me, mate, at all. Yes, our Malaysian friend Alex Subsea comes in. Good evening. I thought Ange had learned about playing Rogic and O'Reilly in the same team. Hopefully he does not do that again. Roll on Sunday. 6 points clear. I mean, obviously, a huge carrots dangled in front of us having the earlier fixture on Sunday, and we'll be focusing on that in the weekend. Shows 100% how important it is we go Easter Road, lay down a marker, put the pressure back over to them even more than what we already have managed this year, which has been fantastic. Good point about the Cup and Europe, Bhoycie. Thanks, Ryan. I'm glad someone's agreeing with me. Like I say, I'll bring up anyone with the other side of the debate. I'm all about debating. No one's right, no one's wrong. Different angles to every conversation on it. I like that. Ange's boxing clever, guys. I'm not convinced. I mean, he's brought Callum McGregor on for the second half, our club captain. So could he damage knee ligaments when we were already at that point 4-1 down in the tie. I mean, you can't have it both ways. Like, see anyone like want to talk about Ukraine and stuff in the chat, and it's Matt C right now. We're gonna like just drop all that shit, right? I'm not up for the comment section getting turned into funny wee or attempted banter at the Ukraine stuff. I just pretty distasteful. I'm not really my bag. So cut that shit out, please. Or well, just fuck off. It's that simple. Don't need any of that shit. No worries, Matt, my man. But I can't even fuck with that. Scott 88 comes in with another angle on it. He wants to talk about the potential cash riches of winning the league and focus on Europe when we have the big bounty bag and it's CL Tuesday, Wednesday. None of this 5:45 pish. I mean, you'd like to think that we were used to the Thursday weekend thing by now. I mean, it's only been, what, 4 years in a row? 4 seasons in a row we've been playing on Thursdays in Europe. Johnny V was never a fan of this competition, but would have liked a run for the new signings to gain more experience. There's another great point. I agree with that. It's another different angle. He's on to stop a heavy doing, and yes, I would point finger at Ange for playing him. If anyone should not be on there, it is Kittleman. Well, there you go. So it does show you that the way of thinking doesn't seem completely clear on this tie from Postecoglou. I mean, it's good experience for Scales, you would say. Ralston, again, getting more European experience. Minutes in the legs for Forest have looked, from what I've seen, a bit wasted again. Still scared to take on a man. Looks like he's lost half a yard. Beaton's been back to his ranked best, says David Bradley. We say back to, I mean, I think he had a couple of good games before Christmas, didn't he? And maybe I got a wee bit excited at one point too, but yeah, not for me. Beaton, I've said that recently. I don't know where this captaincy stuff comes from either. It's just ridiculous. The excuses were being made even before the game started, says Mojo Rising. That's a winner's attitude, in my opinion. I agree with it. We've been turned over by this mob. Can they go all the way? Can Bodo Glimt go all the way? Well, here's the kicker. I highly doubt it. But from what I've seen, I can't deny I think they've been a decent side. I think they have looked good. He's only put on Calmac, so it doesn't look like he chucked it even before the game, Bhoycie. It's a big strategy. Risky strategy, you could say. If only Scales was half as good as all these wee fanboys think he is, says Frank Brennan. I mean, I find that a wee bit unfair. I mean, I think over the 2 legs, there's been a lot of players that haven't played to their best. I mean, Scales is a young, inexperienced with Celtic, I suppose. I think he's got decent experience. He's 22, 23. He's played in Europe before. Does it need to be fanboys that have thought Liam Scales should get a chance? Could it just be that they've liked what they've seen so far? I don't think it's as cut and dry as that. Alex Hayden, the team he put out showed he knew it was done, and it's better to focus on the league and the £40 million. I get that. But again, I think doing well in Europe is should be one of our main strategies and main goals at the start of every season. We're in the 3rd tier. We don't want to be in the 3rd tier of European competition, but you know, we went down with a whimper last week. I would have liked to have seen a more of a contest tonight. More of a contest, I think. People who are start calling for Angie's head after this, and there's always a few can get to far. I mean, I wouldn't like to think anyone's going to be talking nonsense like that. I won't be listening to them anyway. Scott 88, this mob pumped Mourinho's Roma 6-1. Can't be too shabby. I don't think anyone thinks they're a shabby team. I think Bodo Glimt have had a hell of a lot of praise for their displays. Celtic have also been shite. It's just the way it is. Maybe Bodo Glimts have been so good, they've made Celtic look shite. I think there's a case for that in the first leg. Second leg, they were picking balls about round our midfield with ease in the 20 minutes I seen. Getting the ball out wide, it was like they had a spare man. Good side of a good side? Yes. Sign of us not playing well? Too? Yes. The tick can go all the way to 96 points. Hail, hail. There you go. Win the rest of the games, hopefully. Thanks for all the streams, by the way, Bhoycie. Enjoy the chat. And that's what it's all about, my man. Don't you worry about that. You're more than welcome. Yes, Ben Costello. Hop on board, my man. Limerick. One of my favourite bus stops, did you know? And yeah, shite tonight. I agree. But we look forward to seeing what we can do on Sunday. We can keep forward. Ian McIntosh, I kind of go with this. Bodo are decent, very decent. Who could have predicted we were so poor? No one. I think we were well fancied to go through this tie. I think even anyone saying, oh, we won't take it seriously or whatever, maybe predicted 5-1 over 2 legs. Come on, let's get real. We didn't. Did we? I mean, I think we need to be a bit honest. Vim the Tim criticising Maeda slightly. He doesn't feel that he is good enough to start match. Thinks he'd be better coming on against tired legs. He thinks we've got better options up top. I mean, it's really how much match started in the middle up top, though, isn't it? It goes Abada. Just keeps past the post. Martin K. honking display, to be honest. Honesty is the best policy. And people thought we would win this competition. I don't think it should be ambition or any fan's ambition to be in the third tier of Europe and not think we can win the competition. And if we don't think like that, then we'll continue to go out with drubbings in Europe. We will continue just to focus on winning domestic cups for 40th, 50th times and say, well, at least we're better than Rangers. I've got a bit more ambition than that for Celtic as a club. Certainly with the current manager at the helm, you know, who's won domestic leagues, but of course won an international trophy as well. It's just the way it is, you know. Alex Subsea comes back and he likes Pellegrino, lad, for Bodo. We should keep him in mind for the next transfer window. Who did we do that with? Was it Molde we played? Another Norwegian team. Was it them? And it was the big tall winger with the big beard. What was his name, man? What was his name? Inge Sahin. I mean, he looked really good against us. It was right rotten. Johnny V doesn't think we took this competition seriously. I think we did last week. I think that's a bit of a comfort blanket argument, if I'm honest. I think we did take it seriously last week. Loopy 33 comes in, seen enough of Scales. He's not good enough and he's not young enough to be good. Okay. Berger, that's it. Thank you, Hugh. Bhoycie bringing the style with the tracky top. You know it, Michael. Mikey Cole, I should say. Michael Cole was the wrestling commentator, wasn't he? Take it easy, Red Baron. John Mayberry's now coming in saying nothing but a total embarrassment in Europe. Too many players in that team overstayed their welcome. Full of useless Deadwood, Forrest, Rogic, Hart, McGregor. Simply not good enough at that level. Wow. I think that's a bit scattergun, John. I think we've taken a deep breath and we think about McGregor's impact when he came on. Celtic certainly looked a better side with him in it. I think he's been one of our best players this season. I think Joe Hart's done a good job in goals, miles ahead of where we were last week. Yeah, I don't know. Scale's just not up to a level. Extreme John, don't hold back. I think there was another comment I just missed. The offender telly. Yeah, that was the one. That's a shocking performance, home and away. Humiliated and embarrassing, getting pumped by that shite. I didn't think they were shite, but I certainly think we are falling away in Europe. I mean, this is third tier. This is a team on a tenth of the budget of us. This is our third time knocked out this season of Europe. Midtjylland, not much ahead of us. I know circumstances fall into play, but for Midtjylland, there's other ones that are we always going to have circumstances at Celtic? I think so. I don't remember ever there being a period of time at Celtic you go, oh well, there wasn't that or there wasn't this. I mean, there's always going to be some sort of recruitment drive going on, or there's always going to be want away players, i.e. the Ferencváros claim at the time. We're always going to have shit like that. We need to overcome all that pish, you know? Within the team, though, it doesn't care. 100% it's all about the league this year. I think a lot of people within the team are in that boat. I don't think you're alone there. I think a lot of people, I just don't want to hide away from disappointing displays. I just don't think that's healthy. I think it's great to look at the bigger picture sometimes. But I mean, Adam Apple's coming in saying, now come on guys, we're 2 windows into a rebuild. Adam, right, let's get one thing abundantly clear. What fucking planet are we on when we're talking about rebuilds going on for window after window after window? It's never existed at Celtic, ever. You look through the history of time, there's never been, Martin O'Neill turned around, I don't know how many players in his first season. We won a treble then, pushing Europe then right enough as well, I'll give you that. But the thing is, you have to look at a game in isolation. We've just finished the game. Look what the show's called. Bodo, Glimt, Celtic. That's what we're talking about. We're allowed to say if Celtic were shite. And anyone who wants to say that, I think, have the right to and are free to. I don't like singling out aspect of it when we single out players. But there's nothing wrong if Celtic have been rubbish to say they've not been very good. I don't think that's like the end of the world to say that. Do we all know that Ange is could be on the cusp of a fantastic win back of the league title? Yes. Has the league form been outstanding? Yes. Was there a league match tonight? No. Was it a European tie that was winnable? Yes. Let's talk about the European tie tonight. Jim Dolan, Hill Bhoycie, well, that was shit. I don't know if I'm sad or glad now that we can concentrate on the league. I get that. It's all about the league. But yes, it's about keeping our dignity intact. Yeah, and we should definitely be allowed at the very least, to react to a game that finished 2 minutes ago, right? I mean, do we just instantly look at the league? Or does anyone want to talk about the tie? Because, Tattoo Face, you need to experience shocking games. I'm older than I look, Tattoo Face. I've experienced plenty of shocking games, believe me. Lupe, it is all about the league, but if that's the best you can do in Europe with this squad, then either the squad is not good enough or ... I mean, I thought it was poor. Chris Kerr comes in, big fan of the show. It's good to have you on, Chris. We are nowhere near being close to the Champions League level. I genuinely do fear for us if we do get into it. On the other hand, Big Ange will be in charge of transfers. I mean, there's two sides to it, isn't there? We're 100% wanting Ange in charge of the transfer windows that are upcoming. So this is not a big jump jump on Angie's back, criticism sort of thing right now. It's not about that. It's about a result in isolation or a tie in isolation, where I think Celtic have been, to say the least, extremely underwhelming. Right? That's been being pretty diplomatic. I think there's a legacy issue. I spoke about this last week with Celtic in Europe. This has not just been a case of, Postecoglou's Celtic have been knocked out of 3 tournaments. It's a poor European record. It's been going on a while now. Teams that we should be able to beat on paper, we come a cropper. It's not just tonight. You know what I mean? Like, this is not in isolation. How many times, Matt Daly, in Europe have we looked naive? Loads, mate. Absolutely loads. Now, I was going to do post-match press, but Minkin will just carry on for another 20 minutes and then call it a night, because that just seems to make more sense, especially if, there's over 100 people watching right now. David Kelly, Legia Warsaw put them out the Champions League qualifiers. Legia are about to be relegated in Poland. Now, there's a reality check. Brilliant point, David. Thanks for that. Because I think that's fair. I mean, I don't want to be a happy clapper and say, oh, everything's brilliant and everything's rosy. A lot has happened this season. We've all expressed our absolute buzzingness at, our absolute delight at, our real positivity at. There has to be reality check sometimes and go, right, can we just look at this one game in isolation and say, I don't think that was very good. Or the tie in isolation and say, I don't think the tie was a very good performance. But Pato says, just bin this disappointment. It doesn't matter. I was very pessimistic about this tie, but it could be worse. Sevco can't get Aaron Ramsey to drive the coach now. I mean, if we're resort to talk about Aaron Ramsey, then I'm pretty pessimistic as well. Chris remember what happened after a media disaster? Be patient, Celtic family. Well, I remember we scalped them though 4-0 in the second leg. And we went on and won the league title. I mean, Glasgow is now talking about how would we utilise the 40 million bounty. Do you think Ange would get it to spend? Because there's two ways this goes, right? Ange uses European displays this season to back up his argument. Let's all just say in a perfect world, Celtic win the league, right? So Celtic win the league, and basically we then have this bounty, this jackpot of money, £40 million, whatever it may be. And Ange says, well, we did shite in Europe because I didn't have good enough quality. You've got money, can I get a big wedge of it, please? And we'll do better in Europe. Or will the board go, we gave you money last year. We gave you J-League signings that, were a bit dodgy from our point of view because no one had heard of them, but we gave you free rein to get them. And the results weren't very good in Europe. So here's only a wee bit of that money. And I'm not saying that's my perspective. Let's be honest, though. Leopards never changed their spots, and the Bold have been like that in the past. So it will be very interesting. David will repeat what you said before. Okay. If we win the league, that tie doesn't matter. But if we don't, Europe is a massive blot on Andrew's report card. That's true. I think that makes sense. And that's why every tournament should always be treated seriously. Liam Cole thinks Bodo Glimt have got a really good chance of winning this. I would be amazed, but they're certainly not a poor team. I mean, they were definitely a good side, Ronnie Picker, and bitterly disappointed. Get off me. Oh, dear. Bodo are not too shabby, says Martin. Absolutely not. If we take the emotion out of tonight, they were a nice team to watch. I thought they were a really nice footballing team, very confident on the ball and pressed really quickly. They did. They played with a real swagger, an assured style about them, which you have to admire, Chris. I agree with you. I felt at times they went out of second gear, particularly in that, in fact, in that second leg, in fact, there you go, David Kelly. They didn't get out of second gear he says either leg. That's a humiliation. Dress it up if it makes you feel better. That was terrible. I think we need to remember, players don't go out, right, with a blasé attitude to these games. Not one player I'm selected over the 2 legs were of the mindset, fuck it, we'll focus on the league. They were just beaten by a far better team, and we didn't show up at the races, but never with the mentality with the Celtic players going into it going, as long as we win the league. They just were way short. Callum McGregor talking now. Difficult conditions, difficult pitch. It was never going to be an easy task. But we didn't start the game well. We know that. We gave them the impetus in the game. Out comes Feed the Bear. Glad that's over. Hail, hail. Let's concentrate on the league and possibly the treble. I get that. I really do. Yeah, it's 18. I think it's 18 years, David. We beat Barcelona. Was that before Christmas, right enough? 03-04 season, wasn't it? And Villarreal put us out. A long time to go without winning a knockout tie. Again, that's not on Ange. I mean, that tells you how much belief of Celtic had in Europe from the top. You know, from the top. That is the thing. It's crazy. Jack Johnson's away to the Wigman child. It's a bit disappointing, Jack. A bit disappointing. Wasn't doing difficult pitch conditions when they pumped us last week. It was a poor result tonight. It really was. It was very disappointing. I mean, I think a lot of people want to know, where do we go from here in terms of European sort of ambition and things. And I think that's a really, really important point now, because that's got to give the Celtic board shudders how we've done in the past 2 legs. And hopefully a boot in the balls as well. Timmy Bing, how you doing? I mean, yeah, I just think that we should be able to do a lot better than that. I feel that right now, the Celtic board's mettle now is going to be tested. Okay? Because basically you're looking at a team, a Celtic team that has been strengthened to fees that I feel suit the board, right? Oh, and if they come good, brilliant, because there wasn't a lot of outlay on them. Would they try and continue to go down that road, even with an extra 40 million in the coffers? I know David Kell in the comments seemed to think so. It will be interesting to see where we go from here. The tune is Brian Cattigan. It's in the wee ticker bar at the bottom, Adam. He's a legend, man. And it's a brilliant song. Brian Cattigan. It's spot on cue. Sorry, Ross, that was meant to be a bigger point. Our board don't care if we progress. We remind me of Scotland staying still for decades while smaller teams humiliate us. The board needs removed. Absolutely. I think Ange will be thinking, fucking hell, I've got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do to get this club back up to Europe. Now, Sean Barlow wants to talk about gaps. The gap between the starting 11 and the replacements is not good enough. Let's talk about the gaps between that, firstly, and then I also want, as another talking point, the gap between smaller European leagues teams and Celtic. That gap is getting smaller. Not Celtic and getting closer to the teams in the Europa League and potentially some of the odd random qualifiers for the Champions League that might make it every couple of years. The gap between Celtic and those is getting bigger. The gap between Celtic and the bracket that we thought was below us is actually getting smaller as well. That is a concern. And I think that is definitely a real concern. As for the players' point, I mean, let's be honest. With regards to the players that are coming in, or in from mine, Liam Scales was only signed in the summer. Was he announced signing? I don't know. Ralston, is he a million miles behind Juranovic? I would certainly say since the turn of the year, it feels Juranovic has pulled away a bit from Ralston, which, as you all know, wasn't the attitude I wanted to give. During the winter break, I was quite happy with Ralston being the number one right back. However, the teams that we've played today, Jack Johnson giving reports from the other pod, geez, so Frank comes in. The board is a complete red herring, as it's only the woeful and mediocre SPL that completely generates no money whatsoever. So then for us to be then better placed, a better quality player than we have. It's weird. Surely we know that the only place we can generate more cash is Europe. Now, I'm going to go back to a point I've made tirelessly. Celtic turned over £100 million 2 years in a row when we qualified for the Champions League. So surely the board are happy with that at that point in time, right? Why downsize from a side that was evolving under our elite manager? Even the elite manager that they were bitter about paying 45 grand a week to, we then got, it still is in the top 10 highest compensation fees ever for a head coach, £9 million. So we even made our money back on the manager then. In a hand, I think we've won a watch, because I believe that you'll not be one of the, I don't think you'll be anything close to what Brendan Rodgers was on. And I think, I just feel that right now we're looking at a situation where Celtic are going to have to stick a twist this summer, particularly if we win the 40 million. Imagine if we don't win the league. If we don't win that league title, and Celtic are left in a situation where they're then having to use whatever resources they've got left. How do you keep these guys happy? How do you keep the manager happy if we don't invest properly to have a better Celtic Europe? If we are to win the league and everyone and their auntie knows how much money's in the coffers looking ahead to the new season, the same question will come back to the board. How can you not use the resources you've got to help the manager do better in Europe? So it's very, very interesting. Who's coming in the comments? Emery comes in. Hi, mate. For an example, you are playing Championship Manager 0102. The 2001-2002 team hammers the 21-22 team. This is the gap. It's a brilliant point. Huge gap. Absolutely huge. Grafton is good in the league. He's not European level. I get that point. Is tonight the night to... It's very difficult to work out, where a lot of the European stuff goes wrong. And I appreciate your optimism. I don't know how optimistic I'm being right now. I think there's a bigger picture here that everyone wants to focus on. But I find that at times we've got to cut the bullshit sometimes, guys, and go, is it a comfort blanket saying league's all that matters? Or is it the facts? Because I don't believe one of those players went out in either of the legs, particularly the first leg, now when we think about it, because that was as close to our full strength team as we could do that night, and we were humbled. Now, when we think about that, do you honestly think any of those players went out that night? Like Jota, for example, as long as we win the league, it's out of all their minds once the referee blows the whistle. We were just miles off it. That's the way I see it with that. Look, listen, Chips, we're all diehard times. Tonight meant fuck all. It was just a distraction for better things to come. Do the younger ones remember the 90s? Get a grip, man. There is a possible treble on here. Well, here's the point. So would you rather win a treble than win the European trophy feed? I'm intrigued to know. I am intrigued to know. Or have made more of a fist in Europe, got deeper into this competition? Or is it just about winning to me, lesser competitions like the Scottish League Cup that we've won countless times and the Scottish Cup that we've won countless times, would you rather continue to do that, or would you rather have made more of a fist of a Conference League that has the likes of Marseille, Leicester City in it? I think there's a balancing act to that debate. I really do. Couldn't agree more, Mark. The more the merrier, mate. We are old Tims. You're absolutely spot on. And it's Angie's first season after the shite we got for the Bodo getting the 10. Think about it. Totally get all that as well. But Feed, the fact of the matter is we've just went out of Europe 5-1 against the Norwegian side in the 10th of the budget. Are we allowed to talk about that tie in isolation? Or is it just about looking at the bigger picture when we get a negative result? Because see, when we get a really shit hot result, we tend to just talk about that match in isolation. So I think there's two sides to it. Do you know what I mean? Jock Griffin, yeah, cut the bullshit. We are a brand new team against a good quality outfit who have been champion of Norway the last 3 years, correction, the last 2 years, and lost 4 of their star men, and still are on a fraction of the budget that we are. I don't know. I think there's two sides of it. Feed says, fuck the Conference League. I mean, okay, I disagree. European competition. If we keep saying fuck the European competition, I've seen comments similar to that about the Europa League, you know, in seasons gone by. Alfred, we are Celtic and we should want to win everything we enter. I'm of that mindset. I really am. But I get there's room for everyone's opinion on it. And I don't think Feed the Bear, by the way, is alone in his opinion on it. In fact, from a lot of the comments I've seen during the game and since, I think Feed the Bear's attitude to it is going to be very much a popular one. Too many young Celtic supporters haven't a fucking clue. This is a rebuild this year and we are doing well. But no one's saying we're not doing well. In fact, almost 99% of the Bhoycie Bus's shows have been about positivity and how well we're doing. Why are we not allowed to say when we get beat 5-1 against Norwegian opposition on a 10th of the budget, it was a bit shit, regardless of the circumstances? That team's been together long enough to have put up more of a fight. I don't get that. You know, I mean, I don't think that's been spoiled either. It's the third tier of Europe. As long as we win the League Cup and the Scottish Cup, I don't know. Because it makes sense. It's Angie's first season. Nothing makes sense about getting beat off Bodo Glimt 5-1. I just don't abide that, Feed. I don't abide that. Cheers, Chris, mate. Thank you very much, my man. But again, I appreciate your point of view in it, Feed. It's not mine, but I don't like the ageism thing because I think that's, you know, I grew up supporting Celtic in the 90s as a child. It could have put me off. Jock Steerer comes in. Last year wasn't a rebuild, but we blame COVID for that. Glasgow CSC, boys, I said this on your stream on Friday. If we got to the semis of this and lost short of CCV, Juranovic to injury, therefore disrupting our league campaign, folk would go mad. I know how this works. That's true as well. That is true. Undoubtedly. Celtic man comes in. These wee diddy teams love playing against us because we're a huge club that doesn't match it on the park on match day in Europe. Very strange. How Celtic have. When you look at the teams that have knocked us out, there's Ange talking. He's a bit salty. Right, Kelly, F the Europa League. There you go, Bhoycie. I like the good debate tonight, though. That's the thing, it's healthy, it's good for the soul. We can't all agree on everything, and I don't mind that. There's no nastiness in it. It's good to have different perspectives. Apparently, because something said we were ranked rotten tonight, says Alfred. Ian McIntosh agrees with that assessment. Pato, always looking on the bright side of life, and he says, if the dark side go through, this could be the day we win the league. That is real spin and optimism. I like that. Pato, that is clever. Ange, this football club demands that you compete on multiple tournaments. He sounds very despondent. And he wants us to perform better on Sunday. Take it easy, feed the bear, mate. It's not been really an argument. I think it's been good debate. That's the way I see it. Good evening, Paul. How you doing, mate? You all right? Wonder if the two Norwegian lads for Hibs who were in the Bodo end last week were doing the scouting job for them a week in advance before our league meeting at the time. They certainly seem to have our number, but they did have a lot more time than us to prepare. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's interesting. Jock Steiner with a bit of realism. Norwegian players are just too tall, strong, and handsome for the wee Scottish guys. I like it. Good evening, post-match pisher, says John Duncan. Yes, mate. Fender Telly, the second person to us tonight. It is at the bottom of the wee ticker. Intro music by Brian Cattigan. Find it on Spotify. The song is called I Can't Be That One You Want. Alfred says, Andrew said he wants to win everything. Yeah, he definitely seemed a bit despondent tonight, and I get that. This is real reaction to being a football supporter. A negative result, we feel a bit down. Come Friday, we'll be doing the Double Doon show, and all we'll be focusing on is Hibs and going 6 points clear. That is how this works. I think at the time, though, we're entitled to look at the fixture and go, we were a bit shite tonight, do you know that? I think tomorrow I'm entitled to then go, fuck it, Hibs, Sunday, 6 points clear. Let's have it. I think that is what it's all about, being a football fan. Jim Dolan thought we didn't show any fight. We were gutless and we were outclassed. I mean, tonight was a disappointment. Undoubtedly, the bigger picture across the supporters tonight is going to be the league campaign. So let's now that we've vented about the game, we've spoke about our disappointment, with the result tonight and the two-legged tie. Let's now look at the bigger picture. I know Feed the Bears left now, but that's fine. But for me, the bigger picture still looks good. It still looks rosy. At the end of the day, we've analysed the game or the tie as a whole and our disappointment in it. But now let's look at the bigger picture. And we can go Easter Road Sunday. We're now playing before them, which I don't think we've done often recently, as often as I would have liked. We go 6 points clear. And even if they are at home, it'll be the first time there has been real space with us in the ascendancy in 18 months, 20 months, And I think that has to be an exciting time. Now, what we also have to look at is not only is that we've won the League Cup, that's in the back. We've got the Scottish Cup latter rounds to come, where we've got Dundee United next away. I think a tie that we will be looking to win, undoubtedly. And in the league race, we have the advantage, right? We are in the ascendancy. We play first Sunday and can go even further clear. These are the positives. The other positive is we have a manager. Every single one of us wants to be in charge of Celtic. There's not one Celtic fan I can think of or I've met yet who's suggested to me they would rather someone else was in charge now at Celtic. So that's a bonus, isn't it? We've done a recruitment drive that has been refreshing for the first time in years. One that's brought in players from another league. One that seems to be dominated by players the manager personally has identified. We've had exciting times in terms of the football on the pitch brought back on the whole. And in Europe, unfortunately, at the start of the season, there was chaos behind the scenes. And we know why we went out the Champions League qualifiers. The Europa League, we had some highs, we had some lows. And then we get to the Conference League, and the teams got their shit together. And we get drawn a favourable draw, I think, for the stage where we're at in the tournament, and it doesn't go our way. That's a disappointment. That happens. I mean, the fact of the matter is, Celtic, on the whole, are doing a lot better. All right? Celtic, on the whole, are far better placed than where they were 12 months ago. It is the anniversary, I think, yesterday or today, of Neil Lennon leaving Celtic. Finally, we got the resignation tweet. Now, it was monumental. It was something that wasn't actually reacted to by the Celtic board half a tenth as quick as what it should have been. Can you imagine if Ange had picked up the reins after the day after the final day of the SPFL last season? Wow. And then we might have been ready for the Champions League qualifiers. But I think John Duncan comes in and he's absolutely spot on. The positives do outweigh the negatives for me. Do you know what I mean? And whilst we can all be a bit despondent at the time, and that is our right as football fans, let's be honest, it's our right to be gutted when we lose a game. But thank you very much, Alex, mate. Nice one. We'll save all that H patter. I'm seeing that's flying about. Lanky, good evening, boys and the troops. Good evening to you, Lanky. Fender tells us it's a plastic pitch and yellow strip syndrome. But John Duncan, I mean, he's spot on. The positives do outweigh the negatives just now. Of course they do. I just want everyone to feel, I think there's two sides. I don't want anyone that supports Celtic to now feel that the loving has got so far with Ange and what he's doing that we can't give any critique on it. We can't criticise, and we've got to do that. We're allowed to. And we're allowed to, particularly in the immediate aftermath of disappointment, such as tonight. However, when we all put the big picture pants on and we all go with the big binoculars on and we scan back and we look at the season as a whole so far, we all smile, right? Everyone goes, yeah, this is heading in the direction we wanted. It absolutely is. But we're not going to kid ourselves on when results in isolation are to be looked at, that everything's smelling of roses as well. I think that for me isn't my style anyway. I think it's important that criticism is given where criticism is due, especially in the immediate aftermath. There's just been a natural fan. And then we spend the next day or so building up to the Hibs game with our attention on that and in that far more positive outlook that we all want to be. Because, let's be honest, no one expected Celtic, right, to be in the top flight, at the top of the table at this stage, particularly after the first 6 games of the league. We are. Well, I think someone was saying in the comments earlier, but potentially if we win all our games between now and the end of the season, to win 96 points. I find that a remarkable feat if that was possible. If we were to win our treble back, not even our title back, that would be a remarkable feat yet again, particularly after being so far behind last year and being trophyless. So all of this is the important bits to take away in the next couple of days. And I think we all will. We'll all take stock and we'll all go, do you know what? Things aren't all that bad. But in the immediate aftermath of a game, when a fan walks out the stadium, they'll say that was shite, that was pish. That's what they say. It's the immediate aftermath. And that's all that's been captured in the live comments. That's all that's been captured by myself is live reaction. The bigger picture stuff, we've got designated shows to do it throughout the week, i.e. your Monday Club, your Double Doon show. And we look forward to doing that. And that is when you'll get that more calm, cool, collected sort of synopsis of where we're at. But I think during the I just think during the aftermath of a game, emotions are always going to be very much based on what the actual outcome of the tie was. Do you know what I mean? In comes Paul McFarlane, legend. Possible treble still on, sending positivity vibes. The green and white machine rolls on. Love it, mate. Love it. David Kelly, there's now dread in the Hibs game. So much pressure on after resting most of the team. I don't know. I mean, we've shown a strong mentality, though, I think, in coming back from adversity at times this season or poor results. So I would imagine that Ange, with this squad, they'll be able to hopefully get it out their system in the days between now and Sunday. And, at least there is a couple of days in that wee gap. They've got time to get it out their system. They might do some reaction analysis. I don't know what good it will do them, to be honest. Or they might just focus all their attention now onto Hibs. And domestically, we're on one hell of a run. And that'll be getting drilled into them as well. Brown Warrior, don't droon drinking doubles in Dunoon, but double doom and drinking in Troon or Cameroon. There you go. What more can I say to that? And David Kelly, is as simple as that. If we win the league, everything else is fine. I'm on board with that. Me too. Absolutely on board with that. I think we will all just laugh at the results against Bodo and go, that was shite, who cares? I just think when we've played a game in a competitive tournament in a fixture, it's okay to be pissed off initially if the result doesn't go our way. Stevie Kennedy, are you sober, boys? Lad? Mate, it's really a relevant question, but I'll entertain you for 2 seconds, my man. So I finished work at 6 o'clock. I got picked up instead of getting the bus home like I normally do. And that was also I could come on and do this show for the second half and post-match pish. In that time, I've nearly managed a pint of water. Are you pissed, Stevie? There's a wee question for you. Oh, fat, wait, I don't care. I really don't. Way it goes, my man. I like the positivity here, though. 14 games, it could be another treble. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely, it could be. And that's the positive slant that we need to look at. And I like this from Ryan Kelly on another positive. Ange didn't cut all the bullshit. He didn't give us cliche. He literally admitted he was disappointed. He said at least Ange didn't have an Antonio Conte moment in his post-match interview, sounding like he was threatening to quit. And I think the beauty of that is with Ange, it's when we have had negative results, we've not had the drama that we were getting under Lennon, for example, last season that came with the negative results that almost made it almost double down on the pain you were going through when just talking shite. Do you know what I mean? I think that's been really refreshing for me about Ange. And I think yet another reason why the supporters gravitate to this guy so much, Ryan. Do you know what I mean? Because what Postecoglou does is he admits it. Yeah, we weren't good enough today. It's disappointing. I think he said something in the interview about getting to the levels we did against Leverkusen. So Ange just blatantly admitting, he didn't feel we were playing a team as good as Leverkusen, that we didn't perform as well against Bodo Glimt as what we should have, basically. And that's like Stevie Stone. Nice one. Why does everyone ask? I have no idea, Glasgow, mate. I have no idea. Derek Patterson, you are a legend. Who cares if you're pitched? Well, I know. David, yeah, still the best Celtic fan show about. Well, I appreciate that, mate. I really do. I think tonight we'll call it a day. The time for reflection will come in the next couple of days, and we will be back doing some double doon with Terry Robb tomorrow night, which I am really looking forward to. Yet another viewer getting to come on a podcast because we're not aloof. We don't think we're better than the viewer. It's, for the viewers. That is the point of the show. As you'll know, there's probably been about, tonight, I'm not even exaggerating, about 400 comments brought up in an hour and a half onto the screen. You won't get that elsewhere. And that's what it's all about for me. I think we will look ahead to the Hibs game. We're going to look to the positives as well. We're going to then start focusing on league form, the importance of that 6-point gap, getting that, ramping up pressure down our rivals. Tonight's been, for me, a disappointment what I seen on the park. I can't deny that. In time, will European performances improve in the likes of next year with Ange at the helm? I'd like to think so. We will wait and see on that. But you know what? We'll be back tomorrow, 9 p.m. Jacket tomorrow? I absolutely think there will be. I look forward to seeing you all. Look, everyone, enjoy your Thursday night. Don't panic about the score too much. Good things will come. We will be back. The Bhoycie Bus will keep rolling on. We'll be back on Friday. I'm out in Stirling all day Sunday. I mean, I've tinkered with the idea of doing a post-match pish, but no one wants to see me in a hot tub. So, unfortunately, there'll be no post-match pish on Sunday. I've got to have a life as well. I work my balls off, man. But Monday Club will be back, and we'll combine that with some post-match pish with everyone's favourite quiff, Tim himself, Jonathan Boyce. But Terry Rob tomorrow, Double Doon Show, 9 o'clock. We will analyse the bigger picture. That is what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about who's fit, who's not, who we want to see playing against Hibs. Will we go 6 points clear? Will the other side be able to recover if they do go 6 points behind? All of this is going to be discussed tomorrow night with Terry Rob. And you know what? I'm going to make that quiz even naughtier than normal because I'm just in one of those kind of moods. I'll see you guys all later. Let's play some music. It's the Bhoycie Bus. We don't give up. We don't back down. We double down. Here's a great Celtic tune. You all have a good night. And thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in as always. Thanks again. Good night.
Some of his comments about me deliberately trying to cause controversy. Well, I work in the media now. And you've got someone sitting there next to you who's an embarrassment to the media profession. He's an apologist. He's a charlatan.